Namaste everyone once again. Very warm welcome to Satsang today. Sadhguru Shri Mujiji ki Jai. And even if you're watching, it's all okay. Don't worry. It's all fine. Very good. Mhm. This appearance is constantly changing. All of us can look back to 10 minutes ago, and the appearance in front of us might be very different from what is appearing right now, isn't it? And we can go back to the first thing in the morning, and the appearance would have been completely different. And we can go back to the weekend, and again it would be different. And we keep going back to wherever memory can take us, and this appearance we find is constantly changing. Something else is appearing. But what is the constant in this ever changing appearance? This is always coming and going, but there is a constant, isn't it? What is the one constant? The constant must be you, not the body, because the body is also changing, isn't it? The body is also constantly changing. But there must be a you who is the witness of all of this ever changing appearance. Who is this you? Who is this one? Who is the one who was aware of the baby body? When the body was born, this one was aware of the baby body. And this one is aware of this body also now. Has this one changed? The witnessing of that body and this body, has this one changed? And that's why if we attach to any appearance and call it me or call it mine, then it leads to trouble because no appearance is constant. And even if the appearance was constant, our idea about it would not be constant, you see. Our idea about the appearance also keeps changing. And relationships is the number one reason why we seem to get people in satsang, because there's so much suffering that comes from relationships. So let's look at relationships. Many times it happens that the other person is the same. The other person is actually the same. But our idea of the person wants to be different. We want the person to change. So in our concept of the person of the relationship, we want it to be different. So even if the appearance was constant, the mind is never constant. The mind is constantly changing. So it's double trouble, isn't it? One, that the appearance is constantly changing, and even if for something, if the appearance was constant, then the mind about it is always changing. Our ideas about everything are constantly changing. Our ideas about ourselves are always changing. If you look at what we wanted to do, what we wanted to become 10 years ago, 15 years ago, it might be very different from what we want to do and what we want to become now. So if we rely on these ideas, if we rely on any appearance, then we are just in for some suffering. The person that we believe ourselves to be is just an idea. And this idea has constantly been modified ever since we were born, ever since we had the ability to believe our thoughts. We've always been modifying this person idea. I am like this, I want this, my partner should be like this is the amount of money I should have, my job should be like this. My family should be like this, constantly changing. So when all this changing, everything changing, what is the one constant? That's why we say that there are two ways. There is the appearance and there is the awareness. Can the appearance exist without the awareness of it? Can there be an appearance without you being aware of it? So all appearances rely on your awareness. All appearances rely on you. But you do not rely on appearances. See? Once this is understood, then you cannot suffer. How can you rely on an appearance? Namaste. Thank you, Aditi, for making space. Amaya says, Namaste. Han says, Namaste, Namaste. Nitya, Namaste. Meera, Namaste. Cornelia, Namaste. Jasminder, Namaste. Jasminder also said the network seems to be very slow, persisting. Is it my internet? Let me just check if I ran out of data or something. That's okay for me. How is it for the rest of you? It's okay?
Yeah, we're on HD, Father, so.
Okay, it seems to be okay.
Yeah.
So the appearance can be HD or it can be SD or it can be low definition, but who is the one that is aware of it? Who is aware of the slowness or the goodness? Who is aware that all this changing appearance is happening? Is that one changing its form in some way? Is that one going from 1020p to 780p, or is it changing the pixel levels of itself? No, it is the same, isn't it? How is witnessing touched by all this which is coming and going? Even the mind cannot deny this. The mind also cannot deny the fact that there is a witness of all this appearancing. Because if it were to try and deny this, then it would lose all credibility with you. So it wants to retain some credibility and not deny something which is so apparent. If there is an appearance, then there must be a witness of it, isn't it? So the whole point of satsang is to see who is this witness. The whole point of the inquiry, who am I, is to see who is this witness. And one thing is immediately clear, then the witness cannot be just another appearance, because there must be a witness of that also. So the witness cannot be an appearance. So therefore, we can come to the conclusion that the witness cannot be phenomenal, because all phenomena need to be witnessed. So the eternal witness, the final witness, cannot be phenomenal, isn't it? What is phenomena? Phenomena is that which can be witnessed, that which is observable. So who is the observer? Who is the witness? So one thing is clear if you've been listening today, is that you cannot be a thing. You cannot be an object. You must be something else. And if you cannot be an object, what must you be? And all that you are doing is witnessing. All that you're doing is witnessing, and you cannot be a thing. So can we say that you are the witnessing itself? then we must be able to say that if all there is witnessing, and I am not a phenomenal thing, then I must be this witnessing. Can we clarify that? Can we validate that for ourselves? Can we check in this moment what is it that I am? There can be appearance of anything. There can be the appearance of this body. There can be an appearance of thoughts. There can be an appearance of breath. There can even be an appearance of space. But who is witnessing them? How are you separate from this witness? What does this witness look like? Is there anything we can say about this witness? Can any appearance, no matter how strong it might seem, can it touch this awareness? This awareness itself is your true self. Therefore, self realization is available right now. We need not go anywhere to realize the self. This self is ever present. The only confusion possible is when we identify with an appearance. When we identify as a body mind who is actively participating in this appearance. So the activity can continue, but the identification must be seen to be false. May all of you be forever free from identification with these appearances. Namaste Atma. Kai says, Satsang, Sangha, self. Self-inquiry and appearance I see. As love it feels. I am that constant, untouched seeing. Very beautiful. The constant, untouched seeing. Yes, very nice. And the minute we say untouched, that means that we cannot suffer now. Suffering seems an alien concept. How can one that is untouched suffer from anything? Good. Aditi says, so much clarity after the turbulent emotions that appeared this past week. I see so well that I person was being attacked by the I ego. It is the same I person itself, all being watched by the I am, all occurring in awareness. So much. There is no difference between the I person concept and the I ego concept. That's why you'll find that many times I don't use the word ego. Because when I say ego, many feel that, oh, I'm not egoistic. But many still feel that I am a person. The sense of being a person itself is ego. This sense of separateness, this sense of individuality itself is ego. So if this is clear, these two A's, appearance and awareness, then it makes it very simple what we are trying to say in satsang. Because it allows us to clarify this instant. What am I identified with? Am I identified with an appearance, or am I identified with my true self, which is awareness itself? Thank you, Aditi. Very good. And life will keep pushing some buttons, will keep pressing some buttons to show you what you are still identified with. So it's a great teacher. Life is a great teacher. Don't resist it. Don't even have any expectations from life. Don't have any expectations from life also. Because life knows already what it is, what it has to do. Don't expect life to dance to the mind's tunes. Trust life, it knows what it is doing. Don't resist life. Life knows which medicine you need and when. Sometimes the medicine can taste bitter, but it is good for you. It is good. If you want freedom, then all that is coming is good for you because it allows you to transcend. you'll find that you might say very easily that no appearance can touch me now, it's clear. But then life tests that, you see, it tests it. And it brings you some appearances, which then you say, oh, but this is really important, this is really meaningful. And if you give it that importance, if you give it that meaning, if you give it that reality, then it will lead to some suffering. Otherwise, you just allow everything to come and go. You do not hitch on to anything. You do not latch on to anything. It's completely futile to latch on to an appearance. Completely futile. Even the form of the Guru is only guiding you to the formlessness of the Sadguru in your own heart. Okay. Very good. Vikas wants to ask a question. Yes, my dear, please come.
Good morning.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask a question. Every time I'm been trying to meditate or trying to be aware, there are two things that inevitably occurs. First is, anger. I'll be more angry than the, normal days, and I may, lose my temper, and I may not have control over the words. And 50% of the cases, I'll get busy or get stuck into the other stuff, and the meditation or the satsang will be sidelined. And if I, after this happen, I keep on continuing and try to resolve it and try to be sorry or try to be more considerate. Then whenever I sleep, especially when the day when I meditated more or I'm been trying to be more aware, it seems like there is something which is suffocating me and I'm sleeping and I'll actually face some energy trying to over control me and been fighting punches and legs and everything, and then uh, after 10 minutes or so I'll wake up and probably my legs would be stumbling or something, so I could feel some energy holding me or something, so I don't know what exactly it is, and can you please see what exactly it is?
First, you must remember not to try. Don't try to be aware. Actually, even if you tried your best, you cannot be unaware. How will you try to be aware? What you mean probably is that I try not to go along with my thoughts. That's
Yes,
what you're saying, isn't it? But
yes.
that is not a effortful practice. All of you must understand this. This pointing is much simpler than the mind will try to make it out to be. It's not an effortful practice. Just be completely open. Not all effort. Thoughts will come and go on their own. They will come and go on their own. No effort is needed. Effort is needed to pick up. This phone is lying on the table. I need effort to pick up the phone. I don't need effort to let it just lie there. Same way with the thoughts. But what seems to be happening is because we are addicted to picking up the phone, it seems there are some gadget addicts now, isn't it? We're addicted to our phones. So it seems to be effort to not pick it up. But actually, is it effort? No. It is the dropping of effort. See? But you don't make it something which is like hard work. Just let it just come and go. Because if you make a practice out of it, if you make effort out of it, then it will lead to some frustration also. Or if you try to say that thought should not come, or only a particular type of thought should come, that is not possible. Thoughts will come from whatever source they are coming, and they will come based on our conditioning. So don't expect the kind of thoughts to change. Then you said that, especially on the days where I have meditated, then in sleep or just prior to sleep, then these strong energies will come. Because the mind will try to fight back, you see. There's a beautiful video of my master. It's called The Mind Can Be Crazy. All of you can look for Muji, The Mind Can Be Crazy on YouTube, and it's a beautiful video. It just talks exactly about this, about how when you're coming to the realization of yourself, then the mind starts to react in very strong ways sometimes. But it will not last. Because it is trying, it's fighting, you see, because we've said that this mind had all the dominance. We've given all the attention and belief to this mind. And now that it's being withdrawn, it sometimes doesn't want to go without a fight. And this fight is actually very good for you. Because if this fight were not to happen, then there might be still some things which are just in denial. You're resisting them. So it's good that all of them are coming up. And sometimes what happens is that the mind also runs out of words to say. It runs out of words to say, so it can only fight with energies. There's just these residual energies which then seem to fight. Many in satsang have experienced this actually. So be aware that you're not the only one who suffered through this. Many have experienced this wordless sort of energy, and it seems very uncomfortable. This is just the remnants of the mind which is trying to scare you into compliance. It is trying to scare you away from the truths. Anger can come, fear can come, resentment can come. Anger can come against the master also. Sometimes it can be very strong. Oh, this guy is just, you know, the same words which could be sounding like complete bliss the previous day, the next day will be like, oh, it's the same rubbish. And how can I be listening to this? It can be like that. Mm-hmm. And there'll be another one you'll be looking at in the hangout who's fully blissed out, and you're wondering what is it that they're hearing? Do they have some music playing in the background, or what is going on? It can be like that. It's all a question of perspective, isn't it? So don't worry about these energies. Stay as the awareness itself. Is the awareness touched by these energies? Is the witnessing affected? It is only other parts of the appearance like the body, the mind, all these energies can touch. Appearances can touch only appearances. Appearances have no way to get to awareness. So you just say to the energy, do whatever you want. I am untouched as awareness. Don't be scared of any discomfort. Even if it seems like very strong, I'm telling you that your truth, your freedom is completely worth it. It is worth it. See, someone will tell you that for a few days or weeks you'll have to struggle with some strong energies, but then you will realize that yourself is completely free from all of this. And now you have tested it out. You have seen that this energy is not touching you really. Then it is definitely worthwhile, isn't it? So don't jump into it with a fear of it. Jump into it with the love for the Sadguru in your heart and know that you are completely taken care of. And remember that I don't say anything in satsang which has not been experienced here.
Thank you so very much. I'm really
Very, very good. Atma says, Father, life is fresh in every moment, but nothing special is happening here. Yes. Actually, really nothing is happening in my life. Seems like everything is coming to a stop. Seems like all is stopping slowly. You know why it seems like this? Because now you are identifying with that one which is unmoving. So life still moves. You see, there'll still be the wind which is blowing, there'll still be the trees which are shaking in the wind, there'll still be the birds which are flying. All of this movement is still happening, but now that you are identified as your true self, the unmoving one, it seems like nothing really is moving. Okay? And the events which seem to shake you so much, the personal issues and the relationships and the security issues, all of these things will now seem to not matter because you're identifying with the truth. So she says, seems like all is stopping slowly. Same things around me, but now are seen from different perspective. Yes, mind is a dead thing. Now I can clearly see what is alive and what is dead. Yes, even in people everywhere. It's good to see that this mind is non-existent, does not exist. Mhm. And when others, the seeming others, come and ask you with openness to come and share with you, then you can tell them that their mind is just unreal or it is dead. Usually not advisable to go to the seeming other and remind them of this without them asking, because it makes the mind even stronger, isn't it? The resistance to what you are saying will be counterproductive to what you are intending. So always say when there is a sense of openness, when you sense that there's an openness there to listen, or they have asked, then you can share. But usually I also don't go around telling people, see, your mind is dead. You see, they will not like it like that. And the mind will become only stronger because of that. I didn't mind. Actually, I wouldn't mind if by saying this they would not like it and then the truth would become visible, then it would be fine. You see, then I would not mind they're getting upset. But in saying this without being asked, then sometimes their mind itself becomes stronger because it's resisting more strongly. So then it seems to become counterproductive. So just trust your intuition and trust your heart, and whenever it seems like there is some openness to hear, then you can share it. Because saying the mind is dead is like saying that you don't exist. And in this world where everyone is trying to become special, everyone is trying to become something, you see. If you tell them that you don't exist, then usually it is just the mind which resists this and becomes stronger. Very few are okay with being nothing. Very few are okay with being nothing. Otherwise, it would be very simple, isn't it? You tell, you, she's saying, thank you, Father, I love you. Of course, I will not tell them that. Yes. Yeah, but it would be very nice if you could just go to everyone and say, we have now Sangha of many people. You could tell everyone, just do one thing. Every day, go to 10 people and tell them you are nothing. And then those 10 would understand, and then those 10 could, very quickly, the whole world would be free. It doesn't seem like that. It's only those who come with some openness, those who have suffered enough mostly, they come with openness, and then you can say, what are you? Are you sure that you are really something? And then getting them to look and find that there is nothing here tangible which a person is. Mujiji sometimes also jokes. He says that If I was to say that after attending a retreat, you will be able to make wine out of water, or the retreat will teach you how to be a millionaire, how to become a millionaire, then there would be so many thousand people who will come, millions of people that will come. But here we are saying that you can be forever free from your suffering, forever free from your suffering. And people don't seem to value that so much. But if you ask them, why do you want money? Or why do you want miracles? So that I can be free. So I can be free from my suffering. I can just be. Just be. So sometimes the intermediate steps seem to have become more important. The way to get there, according to what the mind is saying, seems to be more important for most of humanity. Kapil wants to share or expose something. Yes, my dear, please come.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So today morning I realized something. I normally get dreams every night. Some minor dream, nothing major, nothing fancy. Anything that is happening during the previous day, something related to that. And but it's been happening for last maybe 10, 12 years. So every night, or even if I like sleep now for half an hour, I will get one or two dreams for sure. So I realized in the dreams also, I mean, you mentioned it earlier also, uh, that we have these four different parts of our lives, and the imaginary one is trying to fix one or more of these parts.
Yes.
And today I realized, even in the dreams or in the waking state also, the mind is talking to that imaginary one, and the imaginary one has this secret desire to fix all four parts.
Yes.
It has regrets in all those four sections, and it wants to fix or improve all four parts, not one or two, all four. So yeah, it
Yes.
wants more. It wants more money or job security. It wants better health. It is looking for that glorious relationship. And even in spirituality, it says, you could have done a little better than in the past.
Yes. Actually, all four of these are usually alive for most beings, but one seems to take predominance at one period of time. It's rare for all four to be at equal levels, at least in the waking state. I'm not sure how it played out in the dream state for you, but usually it seems like there is one that takes predominance, and then when that gets sort of sorted or gets let go of, then another one comes and takes predominance. So it keeps rotating, and each of these has different variants. You see, all of these has sub variants. Relationships can be personal relationships, it can be family relationships, it can be various type of relationships. Money in any case is never enough, no matter how much is there in the bank, then it never seems enough. Body always can be better, always can be fitter. There can always be guilt about not exercising enough, not doing enough. And freedom, in any case, is the biggest bugbear for most who come to satsang. That I should be doing more sadhana. I'm believing these thoughts and this, all that can. So all four can always be at play. And even if it's not spirituality, then there's always this thing, this deeper search for some meaning. What
Yeah,
am I doing? Where am I going? Like that. That's also a form of spirituality. And figure out what's happening.
yeah.
Yes.
It wants a better story. It's not happy with the story that it sees now. So it wants to change the story, make it a better story.
It wants a better story all the time.
Yeah.
It's funny that you mentioned this dream because I figured another recurring dream which I have. I don't know how many lives are constantly going on. Maybe it's true for all of us. Mhm. But now there's awareness more and more about all these recurring lives. So there's one lifetime I told you about this one who has a house which was being encroached and now there's a boundary wall and all that. Now there's another life where this one is a teacher and he's like big time teacher. So he's got this big stage and he sits over there and then many thousands of people come and there was also this big event that was done with Sri Ravi Shankar who was and still is one of my gurus that I hold in great reverence. So, there's this one. So I went into this dream and I realized, yeah, this is continuing. It was so clear that I knew everyone there and this is happening and satsang is going to happen and there's this big stage and I'm going to walk up on top of that and speak and things like that. And suddenly I woke up. And again, the same thing happened that, okay, which one was the real one? Have I gone from reality into dream or from dream into reality? It was so unclear because everyone seemed so familiar there. And that life was also very clear and familiar. So there's really no tangible way to really tell this. More and more of these. So these are at least 3 of these concurrent lives which seem to have a story which seem to be continuing at this point.
In my case, I mean, I don't know if I've read this or heard this somewhere. That is why I believe this, but it feels as if these are little unfulfilled desires, something, that I wanted to achieve, but I could not. So the mind is still trying to get there.
It can be unfulfilled desires, or it can be some strong fears which we are unable to release in this state. Also, sometimes come in the dream and get released. You see, some people that we are avoiding seeing in the waking state can seem to appear in the dream state, and we seem to lose that fear of meeting them. It can play out like this. And maybe the same can be said about this waking state also, that whatever we are resisting will show up in this appearance also.
Yeah, but it was funny to see that the mind wants to fix all 4 areas. It doesn't want to leave any area, all 4.
It's very funny, but you can make it a lot of fun. All this thing, we don't have to make it very serious. So my contemplation now is I want to find out whether those 2 lives are aware of this life also. This life, now there's this awareness of those 2 dream ones. I want to go into that one of those dreams and see whether that is aware of this one also. It'll be fun to figure out. We can just have fun with all of this. None of it is important as far as our freedom is concerned. But now that most of you are clear about what is freedom, then we sometimes spend some time chatting about this stuff. Just for entertainment. But one thing becomes completely clear, this whole time and space thing is just a joke. The whole time and space thing is just nothing. Oh, Shanti says there's a movie called Sliding Doors about this. I see. I'll look that up. Also, Inception is there, which is somewhat like this.
Yeah.
Dizal said, "Father, can I chat with you about lives?" Yes, my dear, of course.
Whenever we talk about lives, I have like a block against it. I don't know how to explain it. I about 2 years ago had one of those sort of major experiences, right? And I very clearly saw that I didn't exist as a person, and there is no person, and it was very strong, and it hasn't gone away. So, I spent 20 years in philosophies of, reincarnation, in all of even in my teachers who were teaching Vedanta and Advaita about there is no body, they would still all talk about your previous life, your next life, if you're only good in this life, next life's going to be great. you know, and it all vanished in 1 second. It all vanished, right? So now what happens is I don't believe it anymore. So even when Muji talks the other night, he was talking about angels, or you know, or like he tells the stories about Ram and the ring in the pot. I just can't. I can't believe any of it. Because there's nothing. How can nothing go on? Because it's nothing.
Yeah. So what's clear is that nothing is unmoved through all of this, because even time and space does not exist. The next life or previous life is irrelevant to this awareness, isn't it? There is no time, then there is no concept of next or previous anyway.
Yeah.
Yes?
Yeah.
But it cannot be denied that there is this appearance which seems to dance, isn't it?
Definitely. There's appearance, there's play.
So it's all part of it.
You know, I can feel how you can say, oh, okay, this play character can now go on and be another play character. So that totally. But surely if you realize that you are playing a character, right? I just feel like if I die, I'll just like go away like mist. You know, I feel like I'm not in the body, so even if the body dies, then I don't know how to explain that.
Yeah, maybe what to look at is to say that it'll be like deep sleep.
Yeah.
In deep sleep
That's
state,
exactly what it feels like.
so appearance is not there. But the awareness that there is no appearance is still there. So if appearance was to come back, like a dream were to come, so you go to sleep, so deep sleep state is there for a while, and then dream state comes, then appearance comes back, you see.
Yeah.
When you
Yeah.
do that, oh, I was asleep. Because you were aware that you were asleep, that means that no appearance was there. And then a dream state comes or a waking state comes, and you say, okay, appearance is back. And in this appearance, oh, this body is here. You see, this one, this body.
Yeah.
Like Mujiji also says once that I wake up in the morning and I say, oh, Muji is here. Okay, okay. It's like that.
Yeah. Yeah. I have that, I often have that when I meditate, more than when I sleep. I meditate, and then, like, if I open my eyes, okay, I'll go, oh, okay, so look, everything's here, you know, it like all comes, you know, and then you can play.
Yes. Unless you're talking about Turiya, where Turiya, even the sense of the presence I am is not there, then what happens is that if you're in deep meditation, at least the presence of I am stays. You see, but when we're talking about death, then we're saying that the presence of I am itself vanishes also. So the sense that I am is also not there. Only we are able to report later, after some appearance comes or the waking state comes, that even the sense I am was not there. Because when I
Yes.
am is not there, there's no possibility to report also that I am
Yes.
also.
Yes. It's like it comes back. It goes away and it comes back.
So, is there something that is bothering you about this, which is that Lakshman story or this reincarnation thing? I didn't get the point, which was.
No, you know, it's in conversation. I feel inauthentic sometimes. I hang out with a lot of yogis,
Right.
and you know, like I'll go to Rishikesh in February, and you hear a lot of talk about this life, that life, when I was Marie Antoinette, you know, or people just speak about, you know, maybe you'll speak about something and they'll say, oh, that's from a previous life. And, you know, like lately, I just smile politely and nod because I understand the concept and I know what the belief is behind it. But I just constantly feel like it's a belief, and I just want to speak to you about it because there's nobody I can talk to, you know. Nobody will understand me when I say, like, there's nothing.
It's nothing. It's completely true that it is nothing. Huh? So nothing has really happened to you, and you cannot be conditioned. So for us to say that you are like this because of a previous life, it is not true, because it's a different you that is being spoken of.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what is clear is that this awareness completely untouched by any of these appearances, and therefore not possible to be conditioned in any way also. You see, no conditioning is possible for awareness. So then what is conditioning possible for? It must be possible for this sense of being itself, because it is possible for being to delude itself. So this sense of being, if it gets attached to some experience from a dream or a lifetime, it doesn't matter what we say, it's all the same, another appearance. So just in the same way that we must not get attached to any appearance which is here now, we must not get attached to any appearance that we might have had in deeply meditative states or past life regression or something like that. That's why we can only talk about them as entertainment, and just to see that all which is flowing even here we cannot give any reality to it, because there seem to be so much going on in consciousness all the time. But I've seen this tendency amongst various, in India especially, that this tendency is there to say, oh, in my previous life I was this, and therefore that's why I act like this, and all this can be.
The other thing I want to ask you is, awareness is the recognition is somehow it's the being, in the presence of the being that although we are awareness, we've always been that,
Yeah.
but the conscious recognition of it happens in the presence of the being.
Yes.
So can we say that, I don't know if it's appropriate to say it like that, it's the being that decides when you get to see that, you know, right?
Yes, so this is a very good question. And in the play of this life, it is being itself which decides when to wake up or not. In the play of this life. But the fact is that awareness never fell asleep. See? So in deep sleep state, there is no enlightenment required, because there is only awareness. Now, when there is appearance, then the potential to believe is there. A potential to give attention is there, which is all driven by beingness itself. Awareness is untouched by awareness, unconcerned. So beingness itself can look at the appearance which it is projecting, or it can just rest in its true nature of awareness itself.
So it can reveal back to itself at any point it wishes to, so to say. And
it must be its own doing. It cannot be anybody else.
And when we say that it's projecting all these appearances, and all of these appearances are independent, it doesn't technically depend on the past appearances, so to say. So even to say that things like, for instance, if I've done all of these good deeds, then the being will reveal this to me. It's not entirely easy.
It's completely up to being or consciousness or God.
There are no rules as such for it.
It could, we can say that all of this has already happened, and we are just watching a movie which is all pre-canned and shot already. Or we can say that being is deciding every moment of in time and space.
Some people can use this as like an excuse and say, well, my time is not here because, maybe, although they've heard all these things, they can say maybe, no, it's all being, being is doing all these things.
Yes. But if there's a person which is saying that, then it is just like an excuse.
But it's very difficult to explain.
Yes. It's very difficult. Tell me about it.
Because my mom keeps saying that, and we talk, but so much that it's not clear. It's like a being is doing everything, and what can I do?
It's very difficult from the person's perspective to understand. Okay? But it's a very good thing, even as a person, if you're saying that all is God's doing, then even that is very good. Because that sense of surrender, which might be a little inaccurate in reality, but actually will lead you to the dissolution of this ego. So Lizal was not sure whether we finished our conversation.
I'm not sure, but it was good to have it. It's really so great to be able to talk to you. I appreciate it so much. I'm so grateful to you.
You're very welcome, my dear. Such a pleasure always to talk to you as well. But we can look if there's something still there. Don't have an aversion also to it, because all this is just fun. All this is just
Yeah, it is fun. You know, it starts triggering my mind when the subject comes up, and it starts, all those old seeker tendencies start coming up, and I feel like a question starts coming of, like, you know, the bodhisattvas who decide to stay in form to help the world. It starts bringing up this thing of, like, can you decide to stay in form? Because the character could decide to stay a character. It's just an interesting thing to start contemplating. It doesn't bother me, you know. I don't lie awake worrying about it, but it's interesting to start thinking about these things, you know, or whether, and if there is even a choice that the character has, because the character is what it is. It's doing what it's doing, you know.
So I can say that the character has no choice because the character is non-existent, isn't it?
Exactly. So I always come like a loop.
It is not the character's choice, but it is beingness' choice, which is completely free to project itself in any way. So it is not the character, not a person who is deciding, but God Himself. And I don't find any restriction that God needs to place on itself. So He wants to create somebody who lives 1,000 years or 10,000 years. I don't feel any problem with that. But my thing is that I don't believe something unless I've experienced it for myself. And I've never experienced a 10,000-year-old body. So, so I'm not willing to give it my belief as a concept also right now. I just see, okay, something we read in the books.
Yeah.
So, because if you've seen that our approach has always been scientific, isn't it? We always see, okay, what can be verified right now, what is true in the moment, and something which is not verifiable holds no value, even in the inquiry. So, but I can say that because it seems apparent that for being, time and space is completely irrelevant and completely moldable, I don't see any trouble if God was to decide that this body will live for 10,000 years. I don't see that as an impossibility. So I'm open-minded towards it, but I'm not. I have not seen it, so I cannot say that it will definitely or is definitely true or something like that.
Yeah.
Yes. But it had nothing to do. The other day, I don't know whether you were there in Satsang or not. Maybe it was in the in-person Satsang. If somebody was to come and say that you can keep this body for 10,000 years, would I want to? I don't know.
No, I wouldn't want to.
So even if there was a personal choice in deciding our lifespan, I would rather say, let you decide. God will decide.
Yeah, I was listening to Muji talking about free will, and you know, it's so funny. We actually, the way the game is set up is so perfect. This game of life, you know, the fact that we can't control things, the fact that we don't know when we're going to die, you know, all of the way the game is set up is just perfect, ingenious.
Yeah. Supremely perfect. When the supreme intelligence is running all of this so beautifully.
So beautifully.
But
I
it
don't
says,
feel like there's a concrete question, Father. I just feel like I had to speak to you about it because I sometimes get frustrated that I don't have anyone to speak to about these things, you know. So thank you.
always, you can always speak about this. Always. Also, this don't feel that this says something about our understanding of the truth. Okay? All these yogis, and usually yogis talk about experiences more because they have not understood the truth. I can be as strong as to say this. Because if you find somebody who is saying that, I stood on one leg for 100 years in the Himalayan cave or something like that, means that they've not understood the truth. You'll meet many swamis who will say that I've been walking around pilgrimages in India for 50 years or something like that. If there's so much pride that appears in saying these kind of things, you know that, okay, they've not discovered who they really are. And even with past life experiences, you can experience your last 100 lives. But if you're still saying that I was a person, I was this person, then I was this person, then I was this person, then you've not experienced the truth, you see. Then you've not even made use of what the experience is trying to show you, which is that these appearances can keep changing, but you are just the awareness of them. It can be like that.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Anyone who's not even had any experience, no kundalini, no past life, nothing, no spiritual experience whatsoever, can discover the truth of who they are in this moment, and there is nothing missing from that, nothing missing from that freedom. Too much emphasis in India about all these chakras and kundalini and past life and all of that. And I can say again, I'm saying this authoritatively because many of these experiences have happened here and there's no point to any of them. I can tell you with certainty.
Continuing from.
Earlier on when I said that it starts my mind up, it's because I'm in the presence of really very highly respected yogis, and I can hear they don't know the truth just by the way that they speak, and then I realize, okay, that one hasn't seen. It's not. I don't feel any less love. It's just that I realize. I just go, okay, but then my mind, then I feel like I don't listen so much anymore, and then my mind goes, it starts up a little guilty thing of like, who do you think you are, how can you judge whether that person knows the truth? And it's not a judgment, it's just that it's like if somebody speaks about there still being Twin Towers in New York, you'll go, okay, well, they obviously haven't been to New York in the last few years. It's just that, you just go, okay, they haven't seen. And then like all that talk starts, so it's really valuable for me to hear you speak it out.
This is very good because this is an important point. I think we are getting to the root of the issue now, which is that there is this feeling of guilt initially when we feel, okay, if I am Jaya is getting angry, suppose, and I see that she's being egoistic, but she's not. so I see that she's being egoistic, she's coming from the ego. Does that mean that I am being egoistic to say that she's being egoistic? It can. You see, there's a subtle difference. To see that red is red and to see that it's just red is okay. To say that this color is red. But to say that I have an aversion to red and I don't like red or red should not be there, then that is ego, you see. But just to be able to spot red, just because you're free doesn't mean that you lose your power of observation, isn't it? So you can spot ego, but is the ego a problem for you? If it is a problem for you, that means that that is coming from the ego. But if you can spot ego clearly and it has no problem for you, like you said, you still love them, there's no judgment, then it's nothing. Mhm. So this ability to see where another is coming from will not go away. And it's very natural. But it will not, there will not be an ego to clap on the other side. So no conflict can happen because it is not being delivered to an ego. It is just being observed. But if you believe the thoughts of guilt about it, then in your case that could be a problem. Right? So don't believe any guilt about it. It's natural. You will watch. If you now that you know what you know the truth, it is very apparent that when you are around other beings, you will see that they are coming from this place, they are coming from this identity. It will be clear. Just because you can see it doesn't make you egoistic. If it would make a difference to you, then that would make you egoistic. You see? So that's why it's easier to take an example of a color. We will still be able to see red, but red will not mean anything to you.
You know what India is like.
Yes.
You know that the Swamis are very respected, and you know your way of reacting towards them does change. It does change.
Yes. Yes, and that's natural for it, you see. There was a Swami that I respected a lot. The first time I went to Rishikesh, there was huge respect for him because beautiful ashram, everything. And then when I got into little close proximity, I realized that it's not true. It's not. They're not speaking from the truth, you see. That realization is there. But it doesn't mean that I reject them or something, but it just means that that reverence which was there is not there now. That's natural, isn't it? How can there be reverence now? It's not possible. That would be forced, isn't it? And why should we revere one that is not free from their own suffering and is preaching about freedom from suffering? At best, we know that we are just peers. We are all just beings which are there in this world. But that reverence which is there for the Sadguru is not possible in this case once the truth is seen. It's very natural. And we must never, for those of you which will be new in Rishikesh and to India, if just because someone is in robes or wearing orange or white doesn't mean that they have understood the truth or that they are free from suffering. Please remember this because many will come from overseas and they'll come to India and they'll see somebody wearing some orange robes and many times they could be drug addicts or they could be criminals. Just so always do your due diligence. Go with your intuition, what your heart is telling you, and just the way somebody is dressed or the way they look does not count for the fact that they know the truth. Also, we must not be completely skeptical. Now, there's this thing in India that all gurus, all teachers are now just crooks because so many scandals and things are appearing. It's also this thing now that all Babas are fake or there's no such thing. It's like that. So just go with the intuition in your heart. Don't go to any extreme point of view. Just know, you know the truth in your heart. So just see whether there is resonance, which is there. And then if you find resonance, you can definitely converse, talk to them. No harm in any of that. But just don't go on blind. Just because somebody's wearing some clothes or looks like a sadhu or something doesn't mean anything. Okay. Jasminder said, deep gratitude for your clarity, the gentle, patient pointing. Thank you, thank you. Oh, you're so welcome. Thank you. Atma said, such a great conversation and satsang. Time and space is just a joke. I just love what you say. It's a joke, I tell you. There's no other way to say it. Shanti had to get some sleep. Love you, my dear. Thank you. Sukhbir says, sometimes in a funny mood, I see this recognition as a game, a way to turn the light on. When the belief that darkness is scary becomes strong. But the belief in the darkness disappears once the light is turned on. Belief in the darkness is a very good way to put it. Because the darkness has no tangibility, you see. Like there are light rays or light, particles or light waves or whatever carries these, the speed of light, whatever is measured when we say the speed of light, there is no dark rays. Okay? Because darkness does not exist. Darkness only means the absence of light. That's why very nicely you said belief in this darkness. And darkness relies on belief. Light does not rely on belief. See, this is very good. I like this because in the dark, we have to imagine that there is something there. You see, it's like the ego, the person. It cannot be seen, therefore, we have to believe in it. We have to imagine that it is there. But with truth, it needs no imagination. So when the sun is there, the light is there, it doesn't need to be imagined. You see? In the darkness, we have to imagine that there is a dark entity there. It is not there. So all that's happening in satsang is to tell you that this dark entity is not there. Just not there. Only the light is there. Very good analogy. The ego is only imagined. Devi, you want to come up? Yes, of course, ma'am.
Hello, Father.
Hello, my dear.
Can you hear me well?
Yes.
I wanted to ask again about this resistance that's still here and very strong. And then I'm worried if I still benefit from satsang or it's just covering everything up, and it's been long. Oh, I heard you tell about few days or weeks, but it's like months, and it seems like it's getting worse. And then there's also a lot of effort trying to figure it out, to get out of this state, and then a fear, like big fear. Oh my God, it just.
This is very good. Very good. Because what is it exposing is that you're still carrying this me. You see, you're carrying the me that wants to benefit or wants to understand, wants to know whether it is working or not. Who is this me? This is the same me which we are talking about, the imagined one. When you look for it, you will not find. It's like in the darkness, when we look for the entity that is dark, you cannot find it because it does not exist. What is creating darkness? Nothing. It is not there.
But when I look, it doesn't seem clear that it's not there. And also this resistance is like so difficult to contemplate because it's always.
So let's look at this resistance. Is this resistance an appearance? What is this resistance? It is a feeling, it is some energy, it might even have some visuals or thoughts. All all of this, if we say that it is an appearance, would that be fair or not?
Yes.
And who is aware of this appearance?
There seems to be a me who is the owner of this whole thing.
What does this me look like? Where is this me? What does it look like? What color are the eyes of this me?
It's more like a contraction that I call me.
Contraction, so some more energy. But
Yes.
you are aware of it, or are you inside the contraction? Just look and see. So energy can be there, which is like a contraction, and can seem like that is me, that is. But already when you're saying that is me, you're speaking from a place of awareness, isn't it? You can see it. Can the me see it? Can the me see you? Can the contraction see you, or you can see the contraction?
I see the contraction.
So, what do you see the contraction as? Is the contraction seeing itself? Can the contraction see itself?
No.
No. So when you say I see the contraction and the contraction cannot see itself, therefore it is clear that you cannot be the contraction. You must be the one that sees it.
I I
Uh,
cannot say. Hmm?
say
What?
it's okay. Yes, go ahead.
It's like it's not. It's logically very clear, but it's not like experienced
Ah,
certainty about this.
so don't use your logic. Keep logic aside. Don't use the mind at all. There's no answers from the mind are of any value. You have to see for yourself. You said it's very simple. Let's look together. Strong contraction can be there. And this contraction can feel like it's a me. Mhm. But you are saying that I see the contraction, I see the energy. You don't see it like visually, you don't have to see it visually. But you are experiencing it, isn't it? You are perceiving it. Mhm. Can it
Yeah.
perceive you? What's happening?
It's like some
Strong.
freezing in like this not clear. I don't know how to call it, like a fogginess.
Yes. Like a blur, you see? Like it can
Yeah.
seem like the blurriness. Not clear what is seen. Huh? It's not clear. But who sees that it is not clear? Is that one also not clear? I know these questions will seem old, and maybe I should find a new way to ask them. But at least try to feel that it's been asked for the first time. You say that there is a blurriness. Who sees the blurriness? Who is aware of the blurriness? Are you in the blurriness or are you in the awareness?
Yes, this non-cooperation of the mind is also seen.
Yes.
But somehow I get stuck at this point, like, oh, I cannot pass this.
Let's find this one who is getting stuck. Who is this one? Look and find. Look, no, look. Before you believe this I, just find who is this one that gets stuck? Where is it? Does it have any reality? This one that says I'm getting stuck. Is it awareness which is saying I'm getting stuck? Or is it the imagined one?
No, it's not awareness.
And if it's not awareness, when you are aware of it, it is not aware of you. And if we cannot find this one, then we must not believe its voice. Because this voice will keep you going on this merry-go-round for many, many lifetimes. Are you closer to the awareness? Or are you closer to what is appearing?
This
Don't try
stuck one.
don't try to get somewhere. When you say that I'm getting stuck means there is somewhere to go. If I was
Yes.
telling you take a walk from here to there, you would say that this obstacle is in the way. I'm not saying you have to go anywhere. Where are you getting stuck? Stuck means I'm trying to go somewhere. I'm not asking you to go anywhere at all. Are you aware now?
Yes.
What confirms this? What is seen? Is it a phenomenal appearance?
Can you repeat that? What is?
Yes. When you say, yes, I am aware, what do you see to confirm that you are aware? Is it like an appearance which is seen?
No, I just know that I'm aware. I don't know how.
Yes. See, this is good because awareness is not an appearance and it is always present. Now, any appearance can come, it can be the strong energy, but you must be there as awareness. Otherwise, you will not be able to report that this energy is there. this I is saying I'm stuck. I don't know if I got it. I've been listening for months. This I is who.
Sunt acum într-o poveste.
It's okay. It's okay. You cannot find this I. Can you find?
It feels like the I itself is trying to do this. What you are asking, it's
I cannot do anything. This I cannot do anything because it doesn't exist. It's another trick of the mind to say this. I hear in satsang very often that I itself is trying to do. It cannot do anything. How can a non-existent thing do anything at all? I cannot look. Looking is not under the control of I, this personal I. Looking is only possible for the real I. Seeing is only possible for the real I, not for the fake one. But the fake one will say, okay, I am only doing, I was only. It's only saying like that. So this I which wants to get somewhere, it wants to do something, that wants to find the truth also, that wants to see reality right now. Is that I real? Does it exist now? Or is it only imagined? What's happening now?
I don't know what to say.
Whatever is appearing, you are aware of it, isn't it? You cannot say that something is appearing, but I am not aware of it.
Yes.
If it is appearing, then you must be aware of it. So then the simple question is, are you in what is appearing or are you in the awareness? You will find that all that is appearing is just jumping about in front of you. It seems like it is in front of you. It cannot touch you. Okay, so what should happen? What should happen? What needs to happen to convince you that you are free? Is it an experience? Should you see something or feel something? I am saying that there is no difference between me and you. We are the same. What are you saying? If you refuse to identify with any appearance, then it's clear what you are. If you refuse to identify also with any idea of what freedom looks like or what should happen now, then you will find that you have always been this awareness alone. Don't listen from the perspective of knowing anything. Just forget everything that you know, even about freedom, about awareness, about everything. Forget it. There is no struggle required. Nothing struggle, no effort. What are you struggling for?
To stop suffering.
Don't believe a thought and tell me how you suffer. What are you believing now?
The most difficult is that I cannot sleep, and then it's just like being so tired, and the only thing I want is to sleep, and then I don't find any energy to reject the mind, or it's just, I don't know. It seems like torture, so I don't know what thoughts I'm believing or what's going on there. It's difficult to not believe that I'm in pain when it happens like this,
Yes.
or that
You
something
were
is not
telling
wrong.
you were telling Vikas also the other day, the worst way to manage your sleep is to try and manage your sleep. Or the worst way to sleep is to try and sleep. Okay? If you try to sleep, then you can't sleep. Let sleep come naturally. Hmm?
Sleepiness is there. I'm tired, but when I fall asleep, it's like torture. The mind becomes more active, and I just wake up immediately with a sense of strange energy, like something is not right.
And this is happening for a while, or when did it start?
Yeah, it's for a few months.
And what is this energy like? What happens?
Uh, it's like here in the chest. It's sometimes fear, sometimes hearts beat very fast, and sometimes also if I fall asleep, then it's full of dreams and all kinds of struggles also in the dreams, and I don't know how to explain. It's just a tormenting energy inside, like something is tortured, but I cannot explain exactly. It just feels.
It feels very dark, is it? Dark and gloomy,
Yeah.
or
Yes.
and you said it started a few months ago, not before that. It never came before that.
Uh, yeah, it was uh, maybe a few years ago. It happened something, and this I was in a situation where somebody was going a bit crazy and acting a bit like being possessed, and this fear started then that I was in this situation for a while and then couldn't sleep because I was taking care of this person, and at one point I felt it just overcame me also, and then I couldn't sleep for a while and got this fear, but then it went away, and since satsang sometimes it comes up, it goes away, but now for a few months it just on and on, and seems like getting worse.
Okay, I know this one well. So what we'll do is let's maybe schedule a call, just you and me. We talk.
Yes, thank you very much.
Okay, take care. Nothing is going to happen. All is well.
Thank you, thank you.
All these energies have no power compared to the Sadguru in your heart. So don't be fearful. All will be taken care of.
Thank you. Thank you.
Very good.
I have to go now. I have to make some medical exam to to see if there's anything wrong with the body also.
Okay, my dear.
Thank you very much. Goodbye.
Bye. Atma said, "Thank you, Father. I love your simplicity. Simple is great. Simple is the way to nothing." Love you too, my dear. Vikas says, "From that day onwards, I'm having the most blissful sleep ever." And it stops mattering so much. We're not tracking our sleep so much. We're not worried so much about how this body. It doesn't mean we neglect the body, but not so much concern about tracking how much we are sleeping or how sleep is coming. Amelia says, "Thank you, Father, for your unconditional love and patience. Love you so much. I love you too, my dear." How did Anandi type with her eyes closed? So happy you're here, my dear. Very nice to see you. It's been a while. When are you coming to India?
Hi, Father. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
It's so good to be here. It's been a couple weeks, and so I just felt like I had to be on the hangout tonight.
Very good. Very good.
So
Very happy.
I'm coming to India January 26th. No, the 28th, I think.
28th, I see.
Yes,
Very,
at 2 a.m.
okay. Very good. And you land in Bangalore, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So we'll make sure we're there to take care of you when you land.
Thank you.
The Bangalore Sangha has to make sure that we take care of everyone.
And I got my visa.
Very good.
So good. And I just wanted to say thank you because just because I wanted to say thank you and for everything. I was out of town for my brother's wedding last weekend, and there was it was very good because a lot of buttons were getting pushed and life was showing me what was still there, and yet it was mostly the very beginning of the trip, and it was very seemingly strong, and the mind got really strong, stronger than it had in a long time. And I just heard your words. Do you believe the master's voice or the mind's voice? And before that, it was so obvious. Like, how could I ever believe the mind's voice? And mind was so strong that it was really, I was so grateful. And you were just with me all weekend.
This is very good. Yeah, I enjoy these reports because this is what I say when the rubber hits the road. And if some knowledge comes like this, if the Sadguru speaks from your heart, then you're free from that suffering in that moment.
And I love you so much.
I love you too very much. Gita Sri says, Beloved Father, thank you and Sangha for being here. I've been following your satsangs for a while, whenever possible, and it's been such a joy. Mujiti's presence and grace is felt so strongly in your satsang. So happy you're here, my dear. Right? It'll be good to see you in the hangout also one of these days, if you're able to join in. I see Govil is also here today. Very good. Welcome, my dear. Good to see you.
Hello.
Hello.
Can you hear my voice, Ananta?
Yes.
Actually, I am planning to go to in India for Satsang with Muzi on in February.
Yeah.
But somehow I found it's very difficult to communicate with my parents, especially my father, because somehow there's like I the people around me they don't have any interest in like self discovery, and I found it's very difficult to talk to them. So but I feel that the willing is so strong that I have to go, and I have to be in the satsang for a while. And I have been following at home, but somehow I just feel that I really want to go. So I'm ask, so can you give me some like advice, some uh, because
So trust life. If there is openness, then all that is required will be made available for you. Don't worry about how it will turn out in the physical sense. Don't worry about whether satsang will happen in a physical satsang hall or whether satsang will happen like this online or any other way. As long as there is openness and there is a fire for self discovery, you will find that the path will automatically turn out to be just the way it is required. Don't put this
thank you.
addiction on yourself. Don't put any effort towards trying to push something or push something harder. You see, don't try to push life. Just watch it. Just carry the intent. If you want to see the Sadguru, just carry the intent in your heart and trust life to make it happen. It works much easier, much simpler that way.
Thank you.
Very welcome. Which part of the world are you in?
I'm living in Vietnam.
Vietnam.
You know this country like in
Yes.
Asia. So thank you for your sharing.
No, very
Thank
well.
you so much. Somehow I sometimes I feel afraid that the the intention because when listening to satsang with music and practice the like kind of meditation, I want to sharing the experience with others, but somehow I feel that I don't know what to share really, like it's really difficult for me.
Yeah. Don't try to share too much. Just let it marinate inside you. Then what will happen is that your freedom, your radiance will become so much that let them come to you. They will come to you and ask, how are you always shining like this? How are you always happy? And when they come with like this with openness, then you can share. Sometimes it feels like you're getting so much happiness and joy from satsang, you want to share with your loved ones. But loved ones are not open usually. So you can try once or twice, and if you see that okay, we're not open to it, just you let it be and let the truth marinate in your heart, and they will find your peace so attractive. They will find your joy so attractive that they will come and ask you. And when they come and ask you, they are more open to listening. Otherwise, it's like forcing them to understand. Don't force them to.
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Anyway, you're so young right now. I can imagine. You see, your parents must be concerned about you coming to India and how it will happen. How old are you?
I'm 19 years old right now. I'm 19 years old, but I feel really difficult to communicate with my parents for a while since I have the us inside. Like I begin to like just want to be alone, and there's a separation between us.
Yeah.
So somehow I don't know.
It's very natural. Right? You're a teenager. It's very natural for you to have these problems in communication. You will feel that, oh, they don't understand me. Why don't they understand like this? It's okay. It's the life of a normal teenager. And it'll get. You be open to communication. You don't hold any resentment or don't hold any grievances, and you will find that it'll all get smoothened up. Smoothened up. It's all about you. You see. Very happy to meet you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, he's 19. I think he's broken Ananya's record. Ananya 22 now. 21 or 20. If you are the youngest one who has come to satsang independently. Otherwise, there are some who come with parents. but independently at 19. So happy that such young ones are opening their hearts to this truth.
Somehow there's a fear inside me that somehow there's one day that the attention will like gone too far, and like Muzi said, like some people they have some kind of fake enlightenment, like they 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 they, they just go on sharing like they become a master, but they didn't really know the truth, and I really don't want to know, like I really don't like to be like that, like because somehow I feel the strong feeling
Ever,
to sharing, but
there, it's
at
okay.
the same time I feel that it's not true. It's not really. It's not really the truth.
So, firstly, we don't ever need to say that I am enlightened or I am free. Nobody needs to say like that. Huh? Others around you might come and proclaim that, but you never need to go out there and proclaim it. Because freedom itself means that you know that everyone is always free, but they're only pretending to be a person. So nothing really has changed. So don't have to say, don't need this certificate or stamp saying that I am free now or anything like that. There is nothing like that. It's all about in this moment. In this moment, are you believing yourself to be a person or not? And if you're not believing yourself to be a person, then you're not pretending to be bound. So no real bondage is possible. You can only pretend to be bound or not. And if you're not pretending to be a person, then you cannot be bound. Therefore, everyone is always free. So when the guru talks about the fake ones, he is saying that a person is now pretending to be free. A person is saying that I am free and you are not. That is coming from the sense of specialness, coming from the sense of being a person. So in true freedom, there is no sense of specialness. You don't feel that you are something special now. You just find that I have never been this person. And if there was no person here, there is no person there also. But I see that there are ones who come who are pretending to be people. And if they're open to inquiry, we just lead them to this truth that you are not a person actually. You're only pretending. So don't worry, you stay in satsang and none of this will happen with you. As long as you stay in satsang, then all this arrogance, all this thing will never happen. Will never happen. And if it happens, then the guru will whack it immediately. Life will also whack it immediately.
Thank you so much.
I'm so happy to see you. So happy to see Very good, very good. I know in my heart that you and I will meet in person one day also. In person also we will meet. Although we've already met in the heart, we will also meet in person. Hmm? Everything will be just fine. Hmm? We'll request Lizal to close today with some invocations at the feet of the Master.
Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Dhyanammulam Gurur Murti, Pujamulam Gurur Dam, Mantramulam Gurur Vakyam, Mokshamalam Gurur Kripa, Mokshamalam Mujiji Kripa, Mokshamalam Anantaji Kripa. Sarvesham swastir bhavatu, sarvesham shantir bhavatu, sarvesham purnam bhavatu, sarvesham mangalam bhavatu. Sarve bhavantu sukhina, sarve santu niramya, sarve putrani pashantu, ma kaschit dukkhapat bhavet, asato ma satkamya. Tamasoma Jyotir Kamya, Mrityurma Amritam Kamya. Om Purnamida Purnamidam Purnat Purnamadachite Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Thank you, my dear. Very beautiful. Thank you so much. Thank you all so much for being in Satsang today. Sadhguru Shri Mujiji Ki Jai. So much love to all of you. Love you all. Lizal and I, okay, I have no battery. Let me get my charger. Lizal and I are going to spend a few minutes to talk about the Advaita channel. You can also stay if you like. And let me just get my charger and come. But all of those who have other things to do can carry on if you like. You're most welcome to stay if you want to be. Yeah. Okay, I'll just get my charger. So much love. We're gonna still go. Okay.